Hello, everyone. We're here. We're back.
The jingle just reminds you, doesn't it? Of it's just got WeaverBirds wrote all over it. It's amazing.
And you're like this. It just brings you right back. And it's usually the other way around. It's usually me at like an ungodly 5 a.m. and you in the middle of your day. And today it's the other way around. So I've got the glowy
Yes.
day and you've got the early morning.
But that's okay. I mean, it's 6 o'clock here, which is a great time to be up anyway. But yeah, we'll find the time that fits.
Yes, let us know if you want us back. We are here. We are raring and ready to go and just get talking about some current things that are happening. But today we're here to talk about my new release, Master Gifts. It's getting rave reviews. Isn't it?
I know, but I'm not surprised, Karen, because obviously I have all of your books, and I'm a huge fan of the 7 master gifts that you've talked about. Now, I brought this book. Here it is, which is absolutely amazing. It even just feels gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous book, and I obviously was going to Los Angeles and I brought it with me. I brought a copy with me and I read it on the plane. And I am not joking you, Karen. It is your best work. It is your best work all combined into one. And I think you've even upped your game. Because obviously I have the other books, The Miracle of Intent, The Law of Love, The Magic of Mindfulness. I have all them other books. And then this book encompasses all of that. I'm sure you are proud, but what a way to combine it all together.
It's just crazy because I never planned to do it this way. Remember, Mindful Magic is what I started with. It's now the magic of mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to write this book, and I wrote it in 3 weeks when the kids were on school holidays, and I just loved writing it. And because people were asking me, how do you do things? How do you do life? You all seem to be achieving things, and you've got 6 kids, and all this stuff. How do you do it? And I was like, I do it. Well, I realized I work through these master gifts, and I was like, I'm going to share them with everybody. And I have two books that are the same, Master Gifts and then Life Magic Mastery. And it just depends on what cover you want. Some people will be drawn to one but I fell in love with this Master Gifts one. The green is my brand color. It's just got the vibe I love. And the giving people and myself, I have to read this book myself, permission to live without fear and on purpose, because we are all on a path in life. We all are journeying. I set intentions, not goals. And so when I'm journeying, I enjoy it. You're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to feel horrible on the journey. You're supposed to feel good and uplifted. Yes, there's going to be challenges. This is life. This is life we're doing. And when you set big goals, you're going to get lots of challenges to overcome, because that's where the growth is. But when you approach a challenge with a growth mindset, you're going, oh, okay. Yeah. There's something big coming. This is a big challenge. There's big growth coming, And
there are conversations definitely that we have, but they're definitely conversations just acknowledging, okay, you're going through this storm because something bigger is coming, and that's saying this too shall pass is really, really relevant whenever you're going through it. And I feel, Karen, that you talk about taking inspired action. So when you have an inspired thought, is that what you've done here in terms of amalgamating them all together?
Yeah, I'm 100% guided as to what the next step is, and it could be anything. So it's not that I just pluck it out. It's just whenever I set out and wrote Mindful Magic, I could never have foreseen that I would be writing 7 books in 7 years. I would have thought, well, I've wrote one in 3 weeks, I can write the next one in 3 weeks. No, I would have thought I would have had it done in a year. But little did I know that I had to journey a year in each gift. The knowing year was absolutely magical. The intention year was my $1 million year, was the intention year. Wow. The love year, it was just a really gorgeous super fuel year. Like, it was just one of those years. And then the gratitude, forgiveness nearly killed me. I thought I knew that I forgive and forget. I realized I don't forget, but I do forgive. And that's okay. That's okay. How I came to that when I wrote the chapter Beyond Forgiveness, that was a profound chapter for me and in my own personal evolution. And when you go beyond forgiveness, that's where their peace is. That's where you are at this high harmonious vibration that you don't sweat the small stuff. You just go, okay, you see the lessons in it, you see the growth in it, you see it not just for yourself, but for the other person or for whatever the situation is. You see it and you move beyond it instead of getting stuck in it for however long in your lifetime. Some people get stuck for a lifetime in something like that without being able to move on. But one of the things with forgiveness is you're not forgiving for someone else or for something else. You're forgiving for yourself so that it doesn't hold you back hold you back to the shackles of the past. You're able to release and move forward from the energy of anything, any situation. And I think that's a big one for people. And then of course there's belief, and belief is, if you don't have belief in yourself, like I didn't have belief in myself as a writer when I started. I was really bad at English at school. I was really, really bad. And somebody said to me, if Mr. Jones knew you were writing now, I just didn't have any interest. I couldn't get my head around it. But one of the things I realized as a writer is that I'm able to tell stories, I'm able to share thoughts, and I'm able to put them down on paper. And then the glorious powers that be, who are editors, will come and make it shine because they are amazing. They have went and learned how to make words shine. So kudos to editors. Love you guys.
Absolutely.
My amazing editor for my whole series is Tina Raffin-Mulligan. And if it wasn't for her, I would not have these books out. She is just such a beautiful, she gets it. She talks the same talk that I do. We both meet on that wavelength. So she knows what I'm trying to say, and then she makes it just shine. It's beautiful.
So it's really important to align with the right people as well, because obviously there's different genres, but this is there's so many profound lessons in this, Karen. And I mean, I already thought you were amazing, but I have been blown away by this book in terms of, and you did take a year on each one, because I remember throughout all them years, you going, I think, I need to finish that book. But it was just going to come whenever it was ready, Karen.
Oh, I never planned it. It was only whenever I wrote them and I went, oh my God, I wrote the first one. I published the first one back in, I think it was 2017. And then I was like, it's 2024. That's 7 years. One year for each gift. And I really journeyed with each gift. So it wasn't until hindsight that I realized it wasn't intentional. But I was being guided. Like I would say to you, oh, Emma, I have to get this book finished. And then I would set the intention and I would write it in super fast speed. But everything I had learned was sitting there in my subconscious mind, ready to pour out onto the page. And I would write at 5 a.m. and even my heart's just lighting up right now, going, those moments when I'm just writing this is very profound, the energy in it. And I know that the reader is getting the gift through my words from what I am delivering, because I'm in a totally different state of being than what, consciousness whenever I'm delivering on that thing.
It's like channeling the knowledge, but you've been very generous with your shares throughout it as well. There are
I don't hold back, and I show a lot. I share a lot of personal stuff.
That's what I mean, and that is not an easy thing to do, but that's where the learning comes from. And surely, and I suppose in our wise old wisdoms now, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's really, really important and really necessary to be that. And I know you love lighthouses, and it's no surprise that this book appears, or I believe it's like a beacon or a lighthouse for those other people that are maybe coming through things. It seems to just pull it all together.
Yeah. And Emma, if I'm asking people and gifting people permission to live without fear and on purpose, to be fearless, I have to be fearless myself. So I don't have any inhibitions. If I can share something that's going to help someone else, well then, there was a time where it felt like I was exposing myself to the world, but I soon got over that. And I knew that just to honor myself and be really authentic and show up, I have to show up as me, as who I am, and just share the lessons, warts and all, and it all looks glorious, on the outside, but there's a lot of inner work that happens, and there's a lot of thoughts and things that come together to make things happen, and we have to honor it. And it's going to get messy. When you're on a journey, things are going to get messy. They really are. But it's okay. It's okay. But you can still show up and shine in your own, you can still be you and still be fabulous.
Yeah. And be working on it all the time. And as you said, it is all part of the journey. And if this book helps and allows other people to maybe understand it a wee bit more, or be more open, or forgive them, like forgiveness seems to be a huge thing coming up in conversations. I'm not joking you, a lot at the moment. Because it's not that it's a new concept. I think people are realizing that forgiving yourself is one of the most important and profound things that you, and I'm not saying people have done all this loads of stuff throughout their life. Sometimes forgiving yourself for not knowing better, forgiving yourself for being in a situation, forgiving yourself for missing something, it's really important. So I suppose forgiveness and acceptance seems to be coming up a lot for people. And that was your hardest year. However, the knowledge that you've shared in the book over that it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I think because there is a huge shift in consciousness right now.
There does seem to be.
Lots of people are unsteady. I feel unsteady, but I know that it's that there's a big shift happening, and it's all for our greater good, and it's all for us all to reach our highest self. That's what it is. We need to stop putting ourselves to the side, and we need to actually pour into ourselves so that we are able to show up and pour into others. Because if we're not our best self, then we're not going to give the best of ourselves to others. That's why it's so important for I talk about the hell yes and the hell no.
Yes.
I'm a hell yes person now. If it's aligned with where I'm going, if it's, yes, I will say yes. I am all open on creating opportunities or sharing opportunities and all of that. But if something's going to deviate me off the path, I'm going to have to say no with love. Because if I say yes to something that my heart is a no to, I'm not going to give it my all. You're not going to get my best. In fact, I'm probably going to take away from it. So I have to say no with love and allow that opportunity to go to someone who it is a hell yes for.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to give their all to it and do their best. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons that we can do is we're not here to sacrifice ourselves for everything. We're here to align with our values. We're here to say hell yes to the things that are aligned with where we're going, because then we're in flow and it doesn't take away from us. It actually adds to us and adds to who we are and what we're making happen. And the more we give, the more we will receive. It's the law of compensation, but we don't do it for that. We do it because we want to. Authentically.
Yeah. And it's about vibration. And I love how you've put the concept of what is beyond forgiveness.
Yeah.
Peace,
tranquility, harmony.
Flow of ease of life if you're aligned and beyond forgiveness of others or of yourself. And I think that's so important to be able to just sit with yourself in that state. Like, why would you not want that for yourself?
Yeah. I remember whenever I was in my 20s, the word contentment, it was like a curse word to me. The thought of being content was like, no, there's too much adventure in life to be had. I don't want to be content. I would never settle being content. But whenever you change your perspective on contentment and how fulfilling it is to be in flow and it doesn't mean that you're boring. It doesn't mean anything. You are just in flow. You're in joy. You're aligned with yourself. There's nothing like the feeling of feeling aligned with your purpose. So many people never get to feel it in a lifetime. Yeah. But when you know that you are walking the path you're supposed to be walking every single step of the way, you may not be able, if you think of it like fog, whenever you're driving through the fog in Ireland, you don't see in front of you. You're just seeing the little bit that the light's giving you. But you're trusting and having faith that, it will be revealed along the way. And you just are more, you're just going with it, with the flow of it. Sometimes life is like that. You're going to have thick fog in front of you. You're not going to know where everything is going. And sometimes you'll have clarity and it'll all be totally clear. And that's wonderful. But whenever there's fog, it doesn't mean you have to stop. It just means that you have to take the next step. Just continue and have faith to take the next step and just navigate it carefully.
Yeah.
And you will get there. You'll be progressional. And that's
Slow
one of the
down, slow
slow.
down to go through it. And also, what you were saying there, it's all about understanding it as well. The faith is a huge thing, just if you are aligned. And there was actually a conversation I'd had last night about happiness and success. You've got to work out what that means to you and then apply all of these, because it's not the same for everybody. And that's why it's really important, as you say, to navigate it, slow down. You don't have to see the whole road, but you need to be aligned and understanding of it, of the process.
Oh my God, yes. And you just got to trust. And some people, we have it we're taught the wrong way around sometimes.
I love that bold statement.
We're taught it the wrong way around, that you need to know everything. You don't need to know. You need to set the intention and go on the journey to get it. And as I said with the knowing thing, you will know if an opportunity or an inspired thought comes your way that's aligned with with what you're working towards. You will know it with every ounce of your being. Is the only way you won't know it until that moment. But if you are not going on a journey, as I said about intentions and goals are different. Goals, you're setting steps and you're just focused total on each step. So you don't see that wider picture. When you go set an intention and go on the journey, the destination will always be further and wider and bigger than you can ever imagine when you embark on the journey. But you'll see wider, the peripheral vision that you will have, and the opportunities always come left of center. That's going to super fuel you right to that. It's going to really speed up the process of receiving. And it's always so high vibe and fulfilling and fun. Even the challenges sometimes can be fun, because I talk about the 5 stages of the soul whenever you're on a cycle of intentions. And that is where you have a struggle and a breakthrough. That's stage 3 and 4. And the struggle is always the time where you need to pause, recalibrate, read books. You're going to feel unsettled feeling in your tummy. The ground's going to feel shaky underneath you, but everything's going to be okay. You have to have trust and faith that you should not bail at that moment. That is the time where you do not bail, because that's 3 feet from gold. You've got to understand that is the moment where you just pause, recalibrate, because you spend time with your family, all of those things, because when the breakthrough comes, you're going to need the energy, you're going to need the time. And if you don't pause in that struggle time, you're going to get burnt out when the breakthrough comes, or even before it.
And that's why it's so important to listen to yourself and honor that feeling. So you plant the seeds. You don't always receive the reward straight away, but it's all part of the process. But you've got to honor that feeling. Your intuition, I think, comes in an awful lot as well, because you've got to honor those inspired thoughts, or feel attuned with what it is. Because if it's not aligned with you or your values, or maybe you're actually going to feel it, and we've got to really recognize that and tune into it and be like, oh, what's that now? And understand ourselves enough. The power of knowing, that, what's for you won't go by you, but you've got to be aligned and attuned with everything. There's been so many reviews already about this book, Karen. I've seen lots of people talking about, I've seen loads of people talk about how they've read it, how it's allowed them to understand it's your best piece yet. How do you feel about all of that? And then the second part of the question is going to be, like, what is your wish for this book going out into the world?
Well, firstly, it's fabulous that it's being received so well. Like, genuinely, the reviews that are coming are more than I could ever imagine. And they're not vanity reviews. They're reviews from people who have read it and go, I didn't expect that. Yes. This has actually changed how I'm thinking about things now. And by reading it, then something happens and ignites something within them, and they action something. Because you can read all the books you want, but if you don't action the inspired or the things that ignite within you, then there's wonderful things happening for these people because of my words. And is that not the best gift in the world? Like, it's just my heart is singing so much. So I'm just so grateful, and I want this book just to reach as many people as needs to read it as possible. I was totally guided with this book. And I know it's my legacy book, and I know it's going to find its way out into the world. I'm going to write lots of books. I've written lots of books. This book,
Yeah.
I know, because of the process and the journey. There's a book, as in how the book came to be.
There's a book about the book.
There's still revelations coming to me about, wow, that's right, that happened at that time, and that's what, you know what I mean? It's just like, I've been on a journey to bring this book to fruition, and even I have to read this book. But to see people with highlighters out and highlighting the sections that just are just going
resonating,
that is really just, and I'm like, that was my dream.
But I'm gonna make a really bold statement here, and I've seen people likening it to like The Secret. I mean, that is how valuable the wisdoms and even the way that you've set it out for people to understand it beautifully. And it's like everything else, you take from it what resonates, and it'll be there for the people that need to see it. But that's how profoundly it's impacting people.
When I'm having a conversation with people, I'm just like, let's have this conversation, and you can just jump into it in any chapter. And you don't have to go from start to finish. You can just look down the contents page and just go, right, I want to learn about that. And the chapters aren't very long. I think they're about 1,500 words. There may be activities in it. There may be diagrams. You know, it's just whatever it needs to be. There may be a message in there for you right then. But I can guarantee, if you read this book now and you read it again next year, or you read it, you're going to see different things, because it's one of those books that brings you different messages in different seasons of life. And I just know that because I'm reading it myself as well, because when you write it, you're not reading. So it's just like, oh yes, you need to constantly remind yourself of the things you already know, but just a constant reminder that, yes, that's the message I need to live through now, right in this moment.
And it is definitely a book that you would have beside your bed or sitting on your table, that it's current. It's always, it's something that you would pick up daily, just as you say, to give yourself the reminder or that little extra boost, or, you know, to help you with
and
your
for
day.
all the people that have messaged me, I have had lots of messages asking if it's going to be an audiobook. Yes, it's going on audiobook, and yes, I'm going to read it. So because my other books are read by somebody else, and yes, I'm going to read this myself, and it'll be likely on Spotify first of all before Audible.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it's just going to go out into the world. It's already started, and just create that ripple effect. Is that your wish for the book? Was that?
I want this book to reach the hearts and minds of as many people as possible who need to read it. You know, I just know I showed up, I done my bit, and so there we are. It's, you know, it's if it reaches as many people as possible and has a positive effect in their lives, well, job done. My part.
That's the power of knowing, I suppose. You showed up and done your bit, and now the rest goes out.
It's the same with anything, Emma. You know, it's our duty. If we want something, it's our job to get ready, to get prepared and get ready, that when that breakthrough happens or when that thing happens, you're ready for it to go. So I'm ever ready, as I always say.
You show up. So permission to live without fear and on purpose. I love that.
Yeah, some people do need permission. If you're looking for permission today to go and pursue that dream, just align with your values and go for it. Honestly, set the intention. Just be grateful for everything you have right now, and try to feel the essence and the energy of what it is like to have what it is you want in the future, and just sit in the vision and the playfulness and the fun of that vision, and wait till you see what happens. Just allow it to come. Have fun with it. That's how I played around with the law of attraction at the beginning. I played around with it, had fun, never told anybody. I just thought, okay, I'm going to see what, and then I think I was having kids at the time, so my love hormones and all those kinds of things was really high. My heart was open, and things would happen really fast, and it blew my mind. But one of the things that blew my mind once was that I really wanted to manifest something, and I lost something that was like, okay, I've lost this thing and I could have went into self-pity. And I chose instead, no, what would be the ideal scenario that this would happen under? And I went and had a visualization, and I just sat there and I was just like, that's a beautiful thought, with no expectation that it would happen. Just, if it's going to. And the very next day, it manifested. And I was like, bing, blew my mind, blew my own mind. I was like, this is
and I mean, we talk about that, those conversations we have all the time. It's definitely a flow state. It's definitely allowing yourself, giving yourself permission, and not to be afraid of success. I find writing things down, writing down goals, writing down gratitude, writing the mantra, all those things helps me. I mean,
But there's actually science behind that, Emma. Yeah. When you write something down, you're activating it.
Yeah.
So that's why you should write it down. That's why you should write down what it is you're working towards every single day, just to reaffirm it in yourself. Write down affirmations. Write down what you're grateful for. If you don't have a gratitude diary, write down what you're grateful for now, and then write down in the present tense what it is you want to attract in the future. And like just watch. Gratitude is like a life hack.
100%. You've got to show up for yourself every day as well, and that's another important thing. And I think the book allows us to do that. So where can we get it, Karen?
It's everywhere.
All the usual channels. You can just type it in.
It's everywhere, and it's going to be in Australian bookstores in June, and we are putting it into UK bookstores as well currently. So it's not there yet, but it will be. But it's on all online bookstores, all the Amazons and the Barnes and Nobles, Waterstones, Victopia, all of those.
Oh, beautiful. Well, absolutely well done again. Super proud as always, but there's something really special about this.
There is, isn't it? Even I'm showing up for it. I usually write and we go on writing. This one, I'm like, no, this one needs the author behind it. I preach all the time to my authors. Author fueled books are the ones that will get out there. So I'm walking my talk, sis.
Yes, absolutely. Showing up to the world. Well, we are grateful that you have, and absolutely delighted to see this book after all of those years coming into fruition.
I know. Thank you so much, sis, and thank you for this interview, because I was like, Emma, let's share with the WeaverBirds community about master gifts, and so we thought, let's do an exclusive. But guys, we're coming
absolutely
back.
This is what I do now. I interview people and show up in the world, but how special is it to be able to do it with you?
I know, and like, look at what's happened since the last time we done WeaverBirds. You are now all around this global sensation who's going around doing emceeing and interviewing, and like the amount of
all
people
around the world.
Isn't it just? But that's you. You set an intention. I remember you set the intention. You went on the journey, and you were open to these opportunities, and they just came flying in. But you would never have been able to foresee or navigate that or make them happen. They were part of the journey. They were, When
you show up your best self and align yourself, this is what happens. So loving life. So well done to you, and a happy belated birthday for yesterday, in case everybody here didn't know. So yes, living your best life.
I'm still eating cake.
I love it.
Bye everyone. Thank you so much. Bye. Sis.